Are you practicing well as a landlord? That's the big question on the government's reform of lettings and legislation and the white paper that's been released. If you haven't already, do please subscribe and click on the bell below to ensure you're notified of any new content that we'll be releasing over the coming period. So, what's the key aim from this review from the government? What are they trying to empower? They're empowering tenants to ensure that if a landlord isn't acting as he should be and legally correctly, that they're giving them the power to actually challenge their landlords and their poor practice. A number of different aspects of this. So, for example, rent reviews. Typically, as a letting agency, it's every 12 months, but they're going to bring enforcing in that to say that this is now the law that says you can only actually increase the rent once a year. And as far as the notice that you give to the tenant, you need to give them 2 months' notice. All very, very reasonable and things that I can see being introduced, no problem at all. Currently, there are rent review terms potentially in tenancy agreements. They're going to abolish those terms as far as the rent reviews are concerned. It means that, landlords that may well wish to increase a rent an unreasonable amount, they're going to actually get rid of this to ensure that tenants are getting a fair run of the money on this as far as rents are concerned. They're going to also expansion on rent repayment orders. So, for example, if a landlord isn't looking after the tenants and isn't looking after the property, the standard of the property itself isn't good enough, they're going to be actually bringing in the rent repayment. So a landlord may cost them an awful lot more than just carrying out the repairs that tenants are asking for. Strengthening the tenant's ability to hold a landlord to account. So they're going to have one ombudsman, for example, to go to, and the ombudsman are going to be empowered to resolve the issues for the tenants as well, which I think is fantastic news. As far as landlords are concerned, I know they've been having problems with, for example, possession claims and getting through court. It's been taking an age because of the backlog. They're going to be speeding up this process and making it far more efficient for landlords as well. So listen, at the moment, you as a landlord, there's a lot of different challenges, but we want to make sure that you are doing things right and in line with legislation. And with this in mind, we've introduced a landlord compliance checklist. It's a free download. If you look in the comments below, you'll get the link there to access the free download to make sure you're doing things in line with legislation.